that's like part 20. That was insane.
So it is beyond honor to me and all of us up here to welcome the Weir family to this stage.
Hello. Wow, there's a lot of people out here. Okay. Hello, I'm Monet, my dad's oldest daughter. Thank you all so much for being here today. I know it means a lot to my dad. A lot of you know my dad first and foremost as a musician, and rightfully so. Music was his #1 priority in life, and one of the things that brought him the most joy. But I wanted to talk a little bit about him on a more personal level and what I saw in him as a person and a father. If there was one word I could use to describe him, it would be unique. He was an adventurer and constant student of life, always looking to make an impact. He and I were both the more introverted members of our family. Comfortable in silence, he was the type of person who would only speak when he truly meant what he was saying, and every word he said carried great weight and meaning. He was so intelligent, he loved learning. Born dyslexic, like everything else, he never let it stop him, and still became an avid reader. He didn't graduate high school as his music career took off, but you would never know that. He knew everything and had the prose of a distinguished writer, all from his own teaching. You could ask him any question about any subject, his favorites being history, science, the arts, health, and politics, and he could give you a Wikipedia-level response with complete accuracy. He was always keeping up to date on the latest news, technology, and research findings in between his music and workout time. With all his knowledge came strong and well-informed opinions. He was a natural-born activist, an avid advocate for the environment, animals, and human rights. From playing From playing benefits to speaking out to just how he moved around on a daily basis. For example, there was a period of time where he insisted on our family using reusable bamboo paper towels, which by the 17th wash became little more than a moldy ball of lint. He was very upset when we eventually threw them away against his best wishes. He was always trying to make a positive impact and live by his principles. He was a good person who cared a lot about the world and the beings in it. I want to mention something that I think speaks a lot to his character and is important in these times of discourse. He was a proud Democrat his whole life. However, anytime we were speaking about politics, he would always refer to the other party as our friends, the Repubs, every single time. He felt strongly that even when people disagree, they should want to try to work together to build a better humanity. While his death was sudden and unexpected, one thing he felt strongly about that can ring true now more than ever is that the show must go on. He was staunchly attached to that saying. Playing music through his best and worst times. His sense of purpose with the music was so incredibly acute, I've never witnessed anything like it. His most important wish in the world, above anything, was that the music and the legacy of the dead continue into perpetuity. He often said that American music in general is something that can bring us all together in these divided times. He worked so hard and so passionately, listening to records and rehearsing his music tirelessly in his free time, even before and after his gigs on show days. So please, help him continue the legacy, keep listening to the music, going to shows, bring your friends, kids, or grandkids, make someone a tape or a Spotify playlist, give someone a miracle, make a tie-dye, sell a grilled cheese. You get it. We all know what keeps this movement alive. His work here on Earth was always going to feel unfinished because the fans and the community are the ingredients needed to finish it with him. Thank you.
Hi everybody, I'm Chloe. Bobby and Natasha's other daughter.
The youngest.
Thank you for your presence today and for listening. I'd like to start with something obvious. My father devoted his existence to music. Many people will say this in a variety of ways, but I want you to know what this looked like from the eyes of a daughter. Around 12 in the morning, after playing a 4-hour-long show, he'd get right back to it. The minute we were back at the house or hotel, his guitar was back in his hands. Experimenting, improvising, learning, loving. He called it woodshedding, and there was not a day that went by where he did not pick up his guitar. At any given hour of the day, the ever-evolving tone of his guitar would fill our home. In mornings before sun had risen, in lazy afternoons, in cozy evenings, he would play. If he woke in the night and couldn't sleep, he would find his guitar. He was the busiest person I've ever known, yet he would always make time for his family. I don't know how I got so lucky to be born into a life where he was my father. The dedication behind the scenes spoke for itself in his live performances. But the phenomena that is a live dead show must be credited as much to the fans as to the band. My dad explained this to me in his own words. We have a kind of special relationship with our fans. What happens is they give us energy. We kind of focus it, we shape it, and give it back to them. All this happens right up there, what I'll call the azimuth. It's between us and the audience, and the music happens there. They're as much a part of it as we are. That explains why we never got around to making great records, because they weren't there in the studio with us. As often in conversations with my father, I had to look up the definition of a word he just used. I found that in navigation, azimuth is used to describe your bearing as relative to your destination and true north. In astronomy, it traces the space between the horizon and a celestial object, as seen from the observer. To my father, azimuth is between the band and audience, and it is where music finds life. He knew the songs are inseparable from the dedicated community of Deadheads. My gratitude for this community, in which I have grown up, is unending. Without this community, there would be no music and no me. Within my father's devotion to music, he carried the spirit of not only those who came before, but all those who will come after. His greatest wish was always for the music to live on long after he was gone. In 30 years, I hope that a 60-year-old is bragging to a 20-year-old in a parking lot, saying, "I saw them with Bobby." In 300 years, when the music from this time period is being discussed, I want the Grateful Dead to not only be in that conversation, but to be still evolving. This 300-year legacy is an aspiration my dad often spoke of. He explained for that to be possible, it matters how we carry on now. It is a legacy far larger than solely sound, and he believed if we played our cards right, these past 60 years would mark only the beginning. Speaking for myself, everybody here, and all those here in spirit, earthly or otherwise, it is a promise I know we can keep. We'll do it for us, and we'll do it for him. Thank you.
Okay, darling, I wrote this to him. I thought it would be easier. Okay, thank you all for coming. Okay, darling, our great maestro, I imagine we feel how you felt when Jerry left. But you didn't stop. You kept going. Oh, I don't know if I can get through this without crying, but anyway. Okay, my kids did it, so this is embarrassing. All right, you kept going, you kept playing, you kept creating, you kept sparking joy, and you kept sharing it. You kept listening to your muse. You kept loving, as you would say, left foot, right foot. Oh, jeez. Okay. Oh. I'm a terrible public speaker, and he's probably... Okay, anyway. What I wanted to say to you, darling, was thank you, teacher. We will try our best. You had two sides. You had your quiet, meditative, spiritual guru side, and your fierce lion, force of nature, on the stage presence that everyone here knows so well. To honor you, we will touch on both. I'd like to do 108 seconds of a moment of silence. He liked that number, 108. And it is kind of pushing and it's kind of long, but he liked to push limits, so we're gonna go for it. We sometimes call these moment of silence, we called it taking a holy instant in the day, and it was a beautiful thing. So we'll do that together. And then after that's over, we're gonna give that little Bobby bow that he does. I have to show you where he goes like. So we'll do that at the end. That was a great bow he did. It was his own. And then after that, to honor his other side, we're gonna yell and scream and applause louder than you have ever done before. And you have to do it really loud because he's hard of hearing. And he's given, or hun, you've given your whole life, you've given, always. And it's time for you to receive. Yeah, that's it. We're going to start the timer. So, 108 seconds of love to Bobby. Ready? Okay, ready? He'd always say, okay, go. Oh, okay. Thank you. Hands up, everybody. There's a beautiful hawk that's been flying around. It's over there. Anyway, hey, darling. Okay, wait, I have to do one more thing. Okay, so last thing, Bobby was so generous with everything, and when friends of ours were near the end, he wouldn't hesitate. He would grab his guitar, his hat, his sarapa, and he would head to their home to play by their bedside as they were dying or in their last week or whatever it was. If it was a video that we were sending because they were far, he would take 5, 6, 7 tries. He wanted it perfect. And it was a beautiful thing. And sometimes it would work in one take, which is a lot of pressure for us today because I would like us all to sing Ripple to Bobby. And we've got one try, so sing your best. John, where's John? Are you gonna? John's gonna lead us. And thank you. Oh, where are you?
Let's get it right.
No, wait, whoa, wait. I don't want a microphone.
They want me.
Let's get we have to get everybody, because what you don't see at the shows is how hard and dedicated. We have the best crew on earth, the superhuman crew. So everybody come out, let's sing, bring the dog.
Let me know when you're ready. Let me know when you're ready.
Bob Weir, the Grateful Dead co-founder whose music helped define San Francisco's counterculture era and whose influence spanned more than 6 decades, was honored with a public memorial service on Saturday, January 17, 2026, in the city where the legendary band was born. The open funeral gathering titled Homecoming, celebrating the life of Bobby Weir, took place at noon at Civic Center Plaza. The event was free and open to the public, drawing thousands of fans who came to pay their respects. Many attendees asked Weir to say hello to fellow founding members Jerry Garcia and Phil Lesh, who preceded him in death. Garcia died in 1995, while Lesh passed away in 2024. Musicians Joan, Baez, and John Mayer spoke from a makeshift stage set up in front of the Bill Graham Civic Auditorium, following an opening prayer delivered by 4 Buddhist monks chanting in Tibetan. Fans carried long-stemmed red roses, placing them at an altar filled with photographs and candles. Others wrote heartfelt messages on colored paper, expressing their love and gratitude for the journey Weir shared with them through his music. The celebration reflected the diversity of the Grateful Dead's enduring fan base. Many longtime followers with flowing dreadlocks and tie-dye clothing attended, some using walkers, while younger fans, including couples and men in their 20s, stood alongside them, united in remembrance. Prior to the gathering, a memorial procession traveled along Market Street from 7th to 9th Streets. Numerous vehicles moved slowly through the route as fans lined the sidewalks, waving and paying tribute as the procession passed. During the celebration of life, Weir's family, his wife and 2 daughters, took the stage to share personal memories and say goodbye to their husband and father. They were later joined by a group of musicians and close friends of Weir, who sang in his honor and offered comfort to the family. Bob Weir co-founded the Grateful Dead in the mid-1960s alongside Jerry Garcia, Phil Lesh, Bill Kreutzmann, and Ron Pigpen McKernan. The band went on to become a cornerstone of the San Francisco psychedelic rock movement and one of the most influential acts in American music history. Weir died on Saturday, January 10th, at the age of 78, following a battle with cancer and underlying lung issues, according to his family. Diagnosed last summer, he continued performing into his final months, including a series of high-profile concerts in San Francisco and Las Vegas that many fans later came to see as an unspoken farewell. May his soul rest in peace.